Hello, it's me again, Tamisha Burgess, creator of Fireside Chats for Global Women, because turning pain into power is sexy, CEO of our community lifestyle brand, where I share the new age philosophies that I have developed about personal development and mental health on merchandise. My first campaign right now is Fear of Feminine Power is a Mental Disorder. I'm also a speaker. I speak about things I'm passionate about, things that are relevant. Again, personal development, mental health. I'm also a teacher. I teach new age philosophies on sensuality and sexuality that help to heal mental and emotional trauma for women and girls who have survived child marriage, molestation, rape, and FGM, female genitalia mutilation. And I'm also an author. I just published my first written work. It is titled Activate: Unorthodox Philosophies that Explore Anxiety, Depression, and Suicidal Thoughts as Symptoms of Suppressed Superpower. To learn more about me, please visit my website, TamishaBurgess@gmail.com. You can visit my link tree. I'll probably have the link somewhere in this video or in the description box. You can find it on Instagram. My Instagram page is Tamisha Burgess. And I'm also on Facebook at Tamisha B Speaks. I'm going to be uploading some content that is relevant to my women, to my girls who are fighting for, standing with, and in solidarity with those of us who are pro-choice. Without further ado, let's get started. All right, so this is why pro-choice, i.e. abortion, i.e. termination, may help to break generational cycles of poverty. Now, let's break it down. All right, so here I'm looking down because I have my laptop in front of me. I have some notes that I don't want to deviate from, so that's why I keep looking down. So, all right. So, poverty. I have struggling parents, rather single, co-parenting, or married. Struggling parenting, period. Okay. Financial struggles always play a role. It's one of the biggest effects of bringing up children, one of the biggest factors that can negatively affect bringing children into the world. Okay. I'll share some personal stuff, just what I witnessed in my own family. And we'll talk about abuse, neglect, and exploitation due to reasons of poverty. Okay. So let me first say that I honor and respect my women, my mothers who have gotten it out of the mud, even though they barely had two nickels to rub together. Damn. We honor you, my sisters, my mothers, our aunties, our nanas, our grandmas, our cousins. We honor you because we know that shit's not easy. I believe I just recently saw a video from Keke Palmer, who's a new mommy. Congratulations to you, Keke, who's a new mommy. And she put out a video of her crying and she's saying, oh my gosh, first week of me being a mom and I realized I need a village. This shit is hard. Oh my God, and you can see the distress in her face, although she was thankful and happy and sharing this experience with her partner, with her man who is there with her in this experience with her. She was able to divulge just from her own perspective, like, this shit is hard, y'all, right? And think about Keke. I don't know what her money looks like, but I think she's doing pretty okay, right? Financially. Just saw 444. So think about the same type of stress, not having the fame, not having the village, not having the money, okay? And so when I talk about reasons abortion and termination can help break generational cycles, number two being generational cycles of poverty, this is what I talk about. And let me just share, I have witnessed firsthand women in my family who struggle to raise their children due to financial constraints. My mother being one. Yes, she got it out of the mud, but she had to work her ass off to get it out of the mud with 4 children. I look at just other single women, other single fathers who are getting it all out of the mud themselves, who may not have the financial ability to do so. I look at my sister, my older sister. So there's 4 of us. I have 2 other sisters and a brother, so there's 4 of us. And I look at my oldest sibling, my sister. She struggled to raise my nephew financially. And in a lot of ways, women who've had those same experience were not financially ready, nor were they mentally ready, nor are they emotionally ready to bring children into the world. But like many women in my family, and I'm going to speak just again from personal experience, just from personally seeing things and observing things in my family. I lived in Virginia for a while with my grandmother, on my mother's side. I lived with my grandmother on my father's side as well, my grandparents on my father's side, but I also lived with my grandmother on my mother's side because my mom hit some financial dips, a lot of financial dips in her life. I remember one time her telling the story to me about when she took my sister, my older sister, and I believe my brother to the train station. I don't think I was born yet. Maybe I was, but she took them to this train station selling her dresses just to get a little money to put food on the table. We are in a new age where we're having conversation about what we can do now going forward so that we don't have to go through the same generational cycles. Personally, in my life, in my family, in my bloodline, and maybe in many bloodlines based on beliefs and traditions and practices and shit, women had kids very, very early. And because of that, they went through financial stresses in their life that could have been avoided. And I say that because why the hell should a woman or girl have to struggle and worry about how she's going to eat and how she's going to feed kids? Why should a woman or girl who has found herself pregnant bring a human being into the world, into her world, that isn't suitable for them to be raised in, isn't quite equipped for them to be raised in, right? Why should we be birthing children into cycles of poverty, into cycles of struggle? We haven't built any foundations for them. We haven't built any legacy for them to inherit. It's just kind of like, okay, we give birth to you, now fend for yourself. Now you're here, fend for yourself. Come on, people. When I say we must guide our reproduction, and we must be conscious about giving birth to children, having children. We should be conscious about it, fully in our right minds, fully balanced in our left and right minds, fully emotional, intelligent. This is what I mean. We break generational cycles of poverty when you opt for pro-choice. And you opt for pro-choice not just because you can, but because you know you should. Damn, right? You asking yourself, can I afford to bring this child into the world? Can I actually afford to do this financially? Can I afford this mentally? Can I afford this energetically? Can I afford this physically? Can I afford this emotionally? Can I afford this spiritually? Can I afford to bring this child into the world? Am I going to be struggling financially to, and when I say financial, ending generational cycles of poverty, I don't mean poverty, it isn't enough just to say, okay, I was able to pay the bills and, we ate today and that's it, right? We're not just talking about money just so you can pay bills and just so we can eat, right? We're not talking about money just so you can buy some fucking Jordans or whatever it is, okay? We're talking about wealth, thriving, and prosperity in a way where you can take yourself and your children on a trip around the world because you can afford to do that. They want to speak another language. You can afford to find them a Spanish teacher or, whatever it is, you can afford to do that. So that is what I mean. That is the example of being able to break these generational cycles by really deciding for ourselves what it means to bring children into the world. Again, are you financially equipped to do so? Are we mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically equipped to do so? Okay. For me, again, breaking generational cycles in my family also includes not having children early, not having children as young as 13, 14, 15, 16 years old. When I look throughout my bloodline, literally throughout my bloodline, from cousins to uncles to aunties, almost everyone, almost every girl, every woman had a child as young as 14 and 15 years old. And so the work for me in breaking this cycle has been this idea of saying, you know what? No, I'm going to break that cycle. That's not going to happen. That stops with me. That stops with me, and it's my choice. I remember one time, one of my family members said to me, a couple of family members said, well, when are you going to, get married and have kids? And this was one of the female women in my family. And she says, you need to go ahead and have kids. You don't know the joy. You don't know the joy. Why she stressed the hell out, number one. Let me just say that, okay? She stressed out trying to figure out how she's going to be able to afford this, afford that, afford this, and telling me, you don't know the joys. And when she was saying you don't know the joy, she had this malice and anger over her face because I had chosen I chose for myself that wasn't something I was going to do right now, if ever, okay? So I remember, how she responded to me, how she almost looked angry that I didn't follow in the same footsteps. When I would visit some of my family who live, I live in Georgia, so I have family that live in Florida and live in Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina. I would see some of the family members who did take that route, and I would see the stress in their faces and in their bodies. They were so exhausted. They've had dreams and wishes that have gone unfulfilled because they had to focus on being mothers, and they would develop this anger and bitterness because they had had children at a time they weren't ready to do so. And so we're going to talk about that in the next video. That's going to be part 3. Part 3 is breaking generational cycles through the power of pro-choice, i.e. termination abortion. So part 3 is going to be breaking the generational cycles of hate, anger, and bitterness. We're going to dive deep into that too. Okay, I'm not going to give anything away right now, but I hope you stay tuned for the next video when I come. I don't know if it's going to be live. I'm just going to do another pre-recorded video like this one, but that's going to be part 3. And so again, just going back to seeing the stress in their bodies and their faces, I would look around at their lives and how they were living and how they would talk to their children, how sometimes it would be this anger and this malice that this child was even in their life. And so we're going to talk about that in the next video. Again, this is reasons why the power of pro-choice, i.e. termination and abortion, can help break generational cycles. Yes, we must be conscious about our reproduction. We must be conscious when we decide to bring life into the world. Are we mentally ready? Are we financially ready? Ask yourself these questions. If this video is for you, you are one of the ones who are deciding for yourself what to do with your body. You are one of the ones who are not turning the other cheek, and you are charting your own course. I'll see you next time. I'm Tanisha Burgess. This is Fireside Chats for Global Women. Again, don't forget to get your copy of Activate. It is on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Get your merch. Fear of Feminine Power is a mental disorder. You can find all that information on my website, TanishaBurgess.com. I'll see you next time. Peace.